and also the time for explanation of the practice.
Của ngày thiền thất thứ ba.
And this is actually the second day. Oh, that's the third day, sorry. The third day of our 7-day retreat. So right now, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. And we would like to invite Senior Venerable Don't to share his insight and practice. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Shifu, I have 2 questions. The first is between the new beginner and the experienced practitioner. What's the difference? I mean, the new beginner, it takes a long time to become quiet down and get into a deeper state of mind. So for the experienced practitioner, will that be faster to get into the deeper meditation state?
Most of the Mahayana sutras. So all the sutras try to help us to alleviate our attachment, self-attachment. So we need to have this full trust in our own mind in order to practice this method. So when you have the full trust in your own mind, that is, you already have the full cause. And eventually you're gonna achieve the awakening. That is the result. So only this approach to the practice, this special approach to the practice is basically it's gonna automatically it's gonna take us out of the worldly thinking mind. So the Zen master Lin Chi, the patriarch Lin Chi, he once said that on the path of practice, if you see the Buddha, you get rid of the Buddha. If you see the literally translate the ghost, you need to get rid of that ghost. So this means that we whatever we see on the path, something to gain or something that we evilly see within ourselves, we need to let go of that thought. So this is metaphorically saying that we have to use the doubt, and this true doubt is gonna help us to take us all the way to our original source of ignorance. And when you don't know that you have that doubt, when you don't know that you have that great doubt, then that is when you on the right path. So right now we use the question, the Huato question, to ask continuously. And the more you don't know, the more you able to slowly tap into your original source. So right now we still practicing, and we still able to see our discursive thoughts, our mind basically arise with different images, a lot of known. So that is still work in progress because we are not there yet. So we still need to continue asking the question until you reach to the true doubt. And this is when you also believe in your own mind or believe in your own practice. So when you are able to get to the point that your mind is completely in this full of doubt, great doubt, that is your doubt is eventually it's gonna create this momentum to explode any moment. That is literally translate, when you reach to the awakening state. So we need to have 100% full of trust in our own mind in order to have 100% trust in our own practice. So for beginners, we usually have a lot of questions about how to practice. So basically, we need to state exactly what is our obstacle right now in our practice, so that from there we're able to pinpoint the problem. Do you have any questions? So basically the message try to ask you, what is your main obstacle right now?
哦，好，我说中文你能听懂是吧？我现在的问题是，这个话头，因为我的想法太多，illusory 想法太多，所以这个话头这个问题有的时候就问不下去了，就停住了，我就沉浸在我的想法里了，就忘了，没法去一直在问问题。
So your question is basically, your question is, when you ask is create this kind of illusory kind of thoughts. So so don't worry about your imagining mind arise, and there should not be any method to get rid of that imaginary or illusory image that arise in your mind. So you just need to return to ask your question clearly. The clearer you ask the question, the more curiosity, the more wondering about the question, or we call it doubt. So the illusory image, they are basically disappear by themselves, so we don't have to worry about them. The main consideration is your question. So he uses analogy of the hens or the chicken is doing the incubation, the eggs. So the eggs need to continue warm, keep warm all the time by the chicken or the mother chicken. So if the mother chicken, happened to left the nest and left the eggs in cold for too long, then all the eggs, they're gonna being they're not able to hatch because the mother left the nest. So same thing with the question. The more you ask the question, the more momentum or the energy of the doubt is going to create. If you leave the question out too long, then the energy of the doubt is going to disappear or not able to establish. So in your life, doesn't matter what comes into your life, you don't have to worry too much about it. But if you pay attention too much about your life, then you lose the momentum for your practice. So you just continue to ask the question, and that if you're able to prolong that don't know mind, as long as you continue with that don't know mind, then you're able to lead this to the source of the ignorance, and your habitual patterns, they able to you don't have to control them, you don't have to put them away or push them or put them under the rug or anything. They eventually exhaust out by themselves. So the practice itself is the tool that to ultimately control itself. We don't have to do anything.
谢谢师父开始，谢谢。
Does anyone have any more questions? So Miss Wang, please go ahead.
南无本师释迦牟尼佛，顶礼诸位法师。我想请教师父，在我们修行的过程中，如果是非常有经验的老参，他会不会是有见次的行，比如说去阿修罗、天道、声闻缘觉和菩萨，然后直至佛道，还是参禅？
So this method of practice is we call the sudden path from doubt to awakening. So this is very different. This is very different method compared to other methods. The other methods they basically achieve step by step. So when your known mind is completely exhausted out, that is when you get the great doubt. From the great doubt, you're gonna get a great awakening. So if you have a small doubt, it's gonna be small awakening. So when you achieve the awakening, that is you able to return to your original Buddha nature. So in the conventional methods, they use the step by step to achieve that awakening.
我可以听到英文。
好，也是可以了，因为今天是那个法师来 translate 那个英文的，所以希望你也是可以听一下，因为 我们的时间都很紧密。还有什么问题？
好的，好的。
还有什么问题？
我想请师父对那个平常心做一个开始。平常心。
好。Và thưa thầy, cô muốn hỏi thế nào là một cái tâm bình thường?
Cái tâm bình thường là bình đẳng.
So the
Tất cả các pháp đều không khác.
cell nature mind is basically it has full of
Tức là
equality.
cái này á, đối với khi được bình đẳng rồi đó, pháp lớn pháp nhỏ không khác.
So there is no difference.
Buồn vui không khác.
There's no difference between happiness and sadness.
Là ví dụ có với không.
So when you have the when we have this dualistic mind, we usually see the two modes, yes and no, happiness and sadness. And when you have this concept of self, then we will get caught into the duality. So when you have this Buddha nature mind, there is no distinction. It's just like in the Prajna Paramita Sutra, and in the one of the vows before you recite the sutra, there is a verse saying that the Buddha mind and the sentient being minds both are the same, no difference. So when we see the difference, then that is when we use our dualistic mind. And the absolute teaching is all about non-duality. So when you see things in the two modes, the Buddha nature mind don't see the difference, but the dualistic mind, you see the difference. And in the dualistic mind, you're able to see the space, the time, in the worldly way. So when we practice this method, it's basically there is a metaphor saying that with one awakening, we can break the space and time in the conventional way. Because from the absolute view, there is no time and space. We able to see the past and the present are different. And when we use the absolute mind, there are no difference. And it's also go beyond the numerical orders. There's no 1 or 5 or 5 or 1. So when we return to our self nature, we go beyond the time, space, and the amount, the numbers. So when that person reaches to that, return to that source of Buddha nature, that person able to know by himself. Right now, we still use the words to discuss about it. So when we're talking about the emptiness, so we use we borrow the emptiness to create this world. So we able to see this body with the four elements: earth, water, air, fire, and we also need the quality. Fifth element is the emptiness. And so basically all this six consciousness, they also create based on this emptiness, no self. So we can see that eye consciousness is not real. Hearing consciousness is not real. Tasting consciousness is not real. Smelling consciousness is not real. And the feeling consciousness is not real. So there is no such self. So let's take an example. Let's say we say Buddha, and the first mode is Buddha, and the second mode is not Buddha, and the third mode is just the temporarily or a fake name, Buddha. And if we try to find the hair of the turtle and the horn of a rabbit, that's impossible. So there's no way we're able to define Buddha either. So this is an example of, so we know that, you know, the rabbit doesn't have a horn or antler, and the turtle doesn't have hair. So the true self, the true Buddha nature also doesn't have any name, no grasping. So right now, let's say if we in a dream at night, we're able to see that, oh, we have emotion, we cry, we're happy in our dreams. And maybe in our dreams, we found a piece of gold. And when you wake up, where is that piece of gold? And also, let's say in a dream, people, they, you know, scold at us or yell at us. And when we wake up, where is that person, you know, just scold me or yell at me? So there's no such real. So we right now we live in our dream during the day. We call opening eye dreams. We have the same approach, you know, in our dream at night, and we attach to whatever we see or feel or hear or smell. So this depends on our what comes into our the sixth consciousness. And the seventh consciousness is basically control the self. The subconsciousness is the seventh. So we attach to whatever, you know, comes into our way, because we attach to our self, the big S, the capital S, the self. So we attach to that self as real. So let's take a look at this, the body, this body. And we know that, you know, our body coming from mom and dad and great grandparents and so on. We can exponent to billion generations. So if we say that, oh, okay, if we have this body from that many generations, and when we trace all the way back, we cannot find the beginning. And when we trace all the way to the end, we're not able to trace that. So from the scientific point of view, when we're talking about the atom, so from the scientific point of view, it uses the cause and condition. Because of this, create the other. So when we say naturalist, we cannot prove it, the beginning and ending of one, let's say one object. If we're not able to prove the beginning theory, and then we cannot prove the ending theory. So because of our false mind, from our sixth consciousness, so the sixth consciousness control the front five consciousness. So it's create all this false view, false perception. And from one wrong perception is connect with the other false perception. So if we accept this is Theo is true, then we create this huge ego. So when the Buddha one finger point to the sky and the other finger point to the earth, this basically means that because of this self, we create all the things in the world. So throughout the Buddha teaching in 49 years, he just tried his best, to help us to believe in our trust in our own mind, because his students not able to trust in their own mind. So that's why he create all the skillful teachings. So eventually it's going to help us to see our own self nature. So therefore we practicing this method is basically help us to return to our original self. And we ask the question continuously. And the more you're able to create that energy of doubt, then it's going to lead us to the explosion, or another word, awakening moment. So if we just ask the question very casually, and then it's going to be really hard to create that energy of the doubt. And if you just ask a few times and then you rest for the whole day, and then how the energy of the doubt can be created. So if we recognize this is come from our habitual patterns, our habits, then we need to correct it, and we need to have this strong determination for the practice. Then you're able to overcome. And even if you create all these mistakes, create all even the evil things in the world, it's it's just one awakening moment is going to resolve all that. It's just like this abandoned house have been left in the dark for thousands of years. And now, if just one light has been lit, then the whole house is going to be bright up, lining up. So the practice here is we go into directly into a root of ignorance. And if you still have this root of ignorance survive, then we still have problem. So when you're able to uproot all this ignorance, then you're able to live your life freely, just like the Buddha. Even when you say nothing or when you say something, that is the way of the Buddha. So we just need to continue to have this practice, so in order to have the realization.
你好，让别人问吧，也许我有很多问题，但是别人可能需要问。非常感谢，感恩师父慈悲开示。
In the prajna or the Heart Sutra, it's no none ignorance, no ignorance, no end of ignorance.
Cái đó là trong bài Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh đó.
So this is in the Heart Sutra. So there is no ignorance to get rid of, and there is no ignorance to end of ignorance.
Mình hiểu á. Cái đó ở trong bài Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh đó là
from the Heart Sutra emphasize the teaching of Mahayana and conventional teaching. So in the conventional, it's about the beginning of our basic of ignorance. So all phenomena in the world is come from our basic ignorance. So when this basic, the fundamental ignorance there, then one's thoughts arise. When thoughts arise, come from fundamental ignorance, is equivalent to the known. Like when you know that you sad, and that is come from the fundamental ignorance, and it's basically it opposite of happiness. So this is the duality. So when we're talking about the method of known to as a remedy to cure this happiness or sadness, then we should base on the dualistic mode. But when we practice this in the Huato method, we go beyond the known or unknown. So so if we practice the Huato method, and if you still have that thought rise in your mind that you know something, then we fall back into the conventional practice.
tiến lên đại thừa.
So therefore,
Thiền quán của đại thừa
we
gọi là
need
nhị
to
quán.
continue to move
Thì
up
tu từng
the
bậc từng bậc.
the
Có cái chữ
sudden
quán
path
cũng gọi là
or
kháng,
absolute
kháng là
path.
chiếu cố đó.
So when we
Đại thừa từ
head
càng huệ
into
địa lên đến thập địa thì có kiến tánh,
the
nhưng mà
strong
trong từng cái lớp,
consideration for the Huato,
tại vì có cái thiền quán trong đó đó.
we go beyond the
Đó
contemplation
là khi mà
practice.
cái vô minh á là cái
So
khúc mắc mà lên đại thừa
when we're
nó
talking
có
about
cái kháng trong đó, chiếu cố đó,
ignorance,
thì cái vô
and
minh đó nó sẽ từ từ nó sẽ chấm dứt. Còn nếu mà
by the
chỗ xuất thiền
contemplation,
á còn gọi
it's
là
also
đại thừa tu tiếp,
go
mà nãy
to
mình
the
nói là đại thừa gián tiếp.
non-ignorance mode, but it takes
Đại thừa
time.
gián tiếp
So
thì
it's
nó
like
đi
step by step.
từng bước lên.
So
Còn
that
đại thừa
is
trực tiếp á, là từ nghi đến ngộ.
the
Nhưng
conventional
mà bây giờ
practice.
chúng ta
Is go
muốn gọi
from
là
one
tu
step
đại thừa
to
trực
the
tiếp,
other step
nhưng mà phải
in
nắm
order
rõ
to
ít nhất
achieve
ở
the
đây ở giai đoạn
awakening.
đầu
So if
là
we
có từ
practice
nghi đến ngộ, nhưng mà từ nghi
direct method, it's
từ cái tầng
gonna
nghi
take
mà
us
đưa đến chân nghi á, nó phải qua
all
cái
the
thời
way to
gian
the
dụng
true
công.
true doubt.
Đến chân nghi không phải là
So
dễ
it
đâu.
would take
Đang nghi mà không biết mình nghi
time to
là đến chân nghi.
go to the
Còn á,
the
cái
don't
tầng
know
nghi mà
mind
đang nghi
when
mà
you're
mình
not
biết mình
able
nghi
to
á,
know that
cũng
you
vừa đến
know
ngộ vậy, cũng kiến tánh
you're
vậy,
not
nhưng
able
mà
to know that
có
you
thể
have
là
the
lọt vào
true
tiểu
doubt.
ngộ, sơ quan, trùng quan.
So in this process
Thì
is
giai đoạn
maybe
đó gọi là tiểu ngộ.
practitioners
Còn nếu mà
fall
vượt
into
qua cái
the
bậc hậu lao quan đó gọi
the
là đại ngộ.
perennial
Thì thiền sư Hoàng Long á chỉ có chia ra 3 quan đó thôi. Chứ thật sự ra không phải là 3 quan.
preliminary
Cũng như
door,
một cái lớp nào đó mình
and
chia
then
ra
the
cái
middle
phần
door,
thân á là
and
do
then
mình chia thôi.
the last
Cũng như
door
một
is
ngày
the absolute
24 tiếng
door.
đồng hồ là do mình chia. Mình có thể mình chia gấp đôi
So
48 tiếng cũng được.
so
Đó
this
là
is the
do
process
chia.
of
Còn cái sự mà chứng
each
tiểu thừa,
depends on
đại
each
thừa,
practitioner.
đại ngộ á, tiểu ngộ, đại ngộ đó.
So
Là do cái sức tu của
so it depends on
người
the
đó.
energy
Nó
practice
không
of
phải
each.
là theo cái lớp giống như bên giáo môn gọi là đại thừa gián tiếp.
So if we have the strong doubt,
Thì
or
bên
strong
thiền
great doubt,
tông á,
then
là
it's
đặc
gonna
biệt
take
á,
us all the
là
way
nói
to
về
the
từ nghi đến ngộ.
3 doors.
Còn
But
nói
if
về
we
cái
have
pháp tối thượng thừa đó,
kind of
như Ngài
weak
Khê nói
doubt, maybe
là cái
it
pháp
take
này
us to the
trực
first
thị
door,
bản tâm.
and medium
Trực thị
energy
bản tâm á,
maybe take
là
to the
phải
middle
đến cái
door.
giai đoạn mà cái nghi tình thành khối rồi mới gọi là trực
So
thị bản tâm được. Đến nghi tình thành khối,
when
tức là đang
your
nghi
doubt is
không biết
fully,
mình nghi á,
when you don't know that you have doubt,
lúc đó là thể ngộ, không còn tu
that
nữa.
the moment of awakening comes at any
Mà
moment.
đến giai đoạn đó là giai đoạn gọi là tối thượng thừa.
So that is the absolute path.
Bây giờ mình mới tập nghi cũng gọi là tối thượng
So
thừa.
right now
Tạm
we
thôi,
in
không phải là
the
mình
path
thượng thừa đâu.
of practice,
Mình nói
but
là phi
we are
thừa.
not there yet.
Thì
We're
cái
not
phi thừa
in
này
the
á,
absolute
không
path
phải
yet.
bên giáo môn gọi là phi thừa thôi.
So
Nói
we
đến phi thừa á, gồm có thanh văn, duyên giác, Bồ Tát,
the three yanas,
là theo cái chỉ quán.
the
Còn thiền
Alahant
không
path,
có theo cái chỉ quán, mà cái khác
Mahayana
gọi là
path,
phi
and the
thừa.
absolute path. So
Nói về tôi nói
the
đây
other
các
path
vị cũng
maybe
nghe,
apply
nhiều người mới
apply the
biết cũng quen thôi.
contemplation, but the absolute path we don't use the contemplation.
Cái diệt vô minh tận, đã
So
vô minh không có thật có, làm sao mà
so there,
hết vô minh?
when we
Rõ
say
ràng
that
vậy đó.
there's no such ignorance, how can
Không có sanh,
we need to
làm
end
sao có tử?
our ignorance? There's no
Nhưng
birth
mà bước đầu mình phải
where
chứng nhập cái
we can
pháp
find
không
the
sanh
death.
mới được.
So
Chỉ có cái
the only
vô
way
minh á,
we know
giải
this
quyết được á,
only
thì tất
when we
cả
return to
nguyên cái bài
our
bát nhã tâm
self
kinh á,
nature.
là vô lục căn, vô lục trần, vô lục
So
pháp, vô lục tứ diệu
in
đế,
the
vô thập
Heart
nhị nhân
Sutra,
duyên. Rồi đến
the,
ly điên
the
đảo vọng
text,
tưởng cứu
the
cánh niết
sutra
bàn,
try to negate
làm hết.
all that
Là chỉ
because
vô
we
minh là thôi.
attach
Tại vì tất
to
cả đều
all this
từ vô minh mà sinh khởi.
faculties
Là
or
chỉ có cái ta
consciousness
này không còn nữa.
are real.
Thì không có cái gì sở hữu của ta.
So when
Sở hữu đó
this
là
Heart
những
Sutra
tướng
try
mà
to
mắt,
negate
tai,
all
mũi,
that,
lưỡi, thân, ý, là
then there is
căn,
no
trần,
such
lục
a
thức.
self.
Cái chỗ mà
So
mình
when there
tới
is
niết
no
bàn cũng là sở hữu.
subject and object, there is
Cái sở
no
hữu này còn cái tên gọi là chữ
the
ái.
I and the I consciousness,
Tưởng
or the
mình nói chữ
subject
ái
of
là ám chỉ cho
the
nhiều
subject
loài
of
người.
the
Cái
I
ái của loài
consciousness,
người là ái thô rồi.
and so on. So
Cái chữ ái này là chung là cái sở hữu. Từ thập
when
địa
we're
Bồ Tát
talking
đối xuống
about
ái hết.
the word
Thập địa Bồ
love,
Tát cái ái
in
đó
the
cái
worldly
phước là
love
cực
is
vi tế
very
sở tri ngô.
different
Thấp hơn nữa
from
là vi tế sở tri ngô. Ngô ở
the
đây là chấp thật đó.
the absolute love.
Ngô Bồ
That
Tát
is
còn chấp thật. Huống chi là
when there's no
duyên
attachment
giác,
to the love.
thanh văn, rồi
So
đời người. Nó càng đi xuống càng chấp thật càng nặng.
the
Còn
more
nó chỉ có cái phương pháp là
attachment in the
chỉ tình đó,
in
là
the
tình trạng
lower
không
realms,
biết đó.
the more
Phá
suffering
cái chấp thật triệt để, gọi
for
là
the
cái pháp
sentient beings.
đốn giáo.
So
Gọi là cái pháp
when
đốn ngay cái gốc cây đó.
when we
Chứ
talking
không phải
about
bẻ
this
cành bẻ lá,
absolute path,
làm cái gì?
that
Thì
is
đốn ngay
when
gốc
we
cây
go
đó là
directly
cái cây nó ngã xuống.
to the root of
Đó
our
là cái
ignorance.
ý Đức Phật muốn mình phải
So
tới đó. Rồi cái pháp thiền
the
không có đi lòng vòng.
absolute intention of the Buddha,
Cây thì thấy
he
cái gốc nó
wants
to
us
to có hơi cạn thiệt.
to get
Nhưng mà
to the root of
kiên
our
trì.
ignorance, even
Sao
though
kiên trì nó có lâu
it's
nữa
hard
cũng hơn là
to
mình
uproot
bẻ cành
the
cưa
ignorance,
thân, đúng không? Bẻ
but
cành
it's
cưa
still
thân
better
thì
than we
lâu
just
lâu.
trim
Nhưng mà cưa nửa
the
chừng nó
branch
phát lên đứt ra nghỉ.
on
Rồi cái cành
on
thân
the
nó nứt
top
lên trở lại.
of the tree.
Còn ở đây mình chỉ
It's
cưa
gonna
ngay
take
gốc lên
forever.
chết tuyệt luôn.
But if you're able to directly work,
thì không có cái
you
vô
know,
minh để mà
at the
dọn
root
trách.
of our
Chỉ cần
ignorance,
á
then
buông
it's
tay
gonna
tập
solve
thể hít không
everything.
là xong.
So just that moment, you know, that
Có ai không hiểu không?
arm or that hand actually able to break the void, the emptiness, then we able to solve everything. Go ahead, you can ask the question now.
Ngồi được rồi, khỏi cần quỳ.
Just ask the question. You don't have
Nói
to.
lớn lên.
Con chia sẻ cái này với lại
I would like
câu
to
hỏi.
Ngồi
share
trước đi, chia sẻ sau.
this with you.
Con xin biết là
You can ask the question and
tụi
then
con
share something later.
tụi con lớn lên bên này mặc dầu là
I've been growing up in the
nhưng
US.
mà tụi con thích cái gì nó
My
thực tế,
uh,
nó cao siêu quá,
uh,
con hiểu hồi nãy giống như con không hiểu
my
nói gì á.
philosophy
Nhưng mà con rất
is
hiểu.
basically very practical
Chẳng hạn như cái câu
because
hỏi của
we are from the
cô
West.
đó của nói á, thì
When you
về vấn đề
answer
tâm niệm á,
your
thì
question, when you answer the other lady's
con cũng thấy
question,
con hiểu nhưng mà
it's
con không
very
hiểu. Nhưng mà có lần đó con nghe
go
thầy
beyond my
đọc
understanding.
đó giảng đó là như mình chạy xe đó, mình thấy
So
cái chiếc xe bên
Thôi bây giờ này, cô cứ hỏi đi, hỏi thực tế tôi sẽ trả lời thực tế.
So
Nói nhiều mất thì giờ.
why don't you ask a practical question and then
hỏi tại sao
and
vậy thì
I will answer practical answer.
con chia sẻ xong rồi con hỏi.
Nó khỏi chia sẻ, hỏi thẳng luôn. Tại sao
Just
nó
ask the
vậy?
question.
Vậy được rồi.
Thì đó, con muốn hỏi thầy á, còn là khi thầy giảng thích á, thì con muốn
bây giờ câu hỏi của cô hỏi đi. Cái giải thích nãy cô
So
chưa
just
có
ask
hiểu,
the
hỏi lại
question.
cái mới.
Thì thứ nhất là vấn đề tạo khí của câu hỏi đó, thì con muốn biết
So when we're talking about the habitual energy.
Còn hồi nãy thầy nói lung tung quá con không biết.
Còn bây giờ này
You say a lot of things that I couldn't
ý
I
của
couldn't
cô muốn
understand.
hỏi cái gì cô hỏi đi, đừng có giữa ai hết trơn.
Vậy mà thầy cũng hiểu nữa sao?
Biết rồi.
Cái tạp niệm á, câu hỏi của cổ là cái câu
So
tạp niệm.
her question is basically from
để con không bị tạp niệm giống như cổ, nhưng mà thầy
the discursive thoughts.
Con muốn nó phải thực tế để cho con hiểu được.
Được rồi. Cô có tạp niệm không?
Dạ ai cũng có hết á.
Rồi cô
You
muốn
have
tạp niệm không?
discursive
Dạ
thoughts.
ai cũng khi mà tu mình
Yes,
cũng rất là muốn
I do.
You
want to end your discursive thought? Yes. So now you ask the Hoa Thổ question, then it's going to end your discursive thoughts.
Chắc để con xin phép hỏi thầy Minh Ngọc là thầy cũng dạy tụi con.
I would like to ask Master Minh Ngọc.
Tu mình cứ hỏi cái câu hỏi.
So when we practice, ask the question. One time I told you that when I ask the question, I have a lot of headache. And I try my best to stay and practice. And today I get the same symptom with the headache. And I have a lot of discursive thoughts. And then I was able to control it. People saying that the more they practice, the more healthier.
Tức là cô muốn kéo, kệ nó đi đâu đi kệ nó, đừng có kéo gì hết trơn á.
So
hỏi câu thời đầu rõ ràng,
just ask the question. You don't need to tame your discursive thoughts.
Đừng cố gắng.
Don't try too hard.
Nó không có nhức đầu thôi.
And then you won't get the headache.
Vậy thôi à.
I know that. But how come you don't know how to practice?
Tại không chịu làm mà sao mà nó hết.
Because it's not practical. That's why I cannot practice it.
Thì nói ra là biết không làm rồi.
How do you know that? How do you know that I don't practice? Because when you don't practice correctly, then you. What is your heart question? Before heaven and earth came to existence, what was that? You know the answer? No, I don't. So when you know the answer, it's already discussing thoughts. I know I cannot answer that. Because you don't practice correctly, that's why you're not yet healthy. I follow your instruction, but so in reality, it's very hard to understand what you mean by in practical way. So how do you practice it? You need to ask the question clearly. The known and the unknown cannot be together. So my wondering is people practice and they get healthier. For me, I get sicker. So how do I know is correct and not correct? So my practical question is, the main reason is you don't ask the question clearly. If you ask the question clearly, so even when I try to ask the question, I still get tired.
thì khỏi tu chứ ai kêu cô tu đâu.
Thôi con xin
If you not
về.
practice,
Nếu cái chuyện đó mình tu á, phải cho nó đúng.
I have to leave if I
Chứ
cannot
còn
practice.
nói mà
Gonna continue later today at 4 p.m. Thank you.